Mr. Chairman. I want to thank all the witnesses for coming, and thank you very much for holding the hearing. This hearing is going to talk about the Pain-Capable Unborn Child Protection Act, S. 1553, which I've introduced with most members of my conference. A little bit about this bill. It passed the House 242 to 184. The Senate failed in vote cloture last year, 54 to 42. To those who may be just watching the hearing for the first time, what we're doing is this bill would prohibit abortion on demand at 20 weeks, the 5th month of pregnancy. We're one of 7 countries in the world that allow abortion on demand at that stage in the pregnancy. We're talking about 5 months. But the real novel thing about this bill, it creates a new way to protect the unborn. Medical science has advanced a lot since 1973, and the standard practice, if you operate on a baby in the 5th month of pregnancy at 20 weeks, you provide anesthesia to the unborn child simply because they can feel excruciating pain. I think the medical science is pretty clear on that, that when you try to save the baby's life, you provide anesthesia to the baby so they don't feel the pain required in operating to save their life. The question for the country, really, in the Senate, is do we want wholesale abortion on demand at that period? If a baby can't be operated on to save its life without anesthesia, should we allow abortion for any reason at that point in the pregnancy? Again, we're one of 7 countries that allow such procedures, and we're trying to get out of that club, quite frankly. That's what this whole hearing's about. And on occasion, a baby survives an abortion. And what should we do then? Well, my view is if a baby survives the abortion is born alive, we should provide every protection in the world to that child that was able to survive an abortion. That's a separate piece of legislation by Senator Sass and Langford, but it is included in my bill. We have exceptions for life of the mother. In those pregnancies where you have to choose between the baby and the life of the mother, there will be an exception for that. In a pregnancy caused by rape and incest, there's a procedure to deal with that. But otherwise, we're trying to advance the cause of protecting the unborn child at the 5th month of pregnancy, 20 weeks. And when you look at medical encyclopedias about what they encourage young parents to do, or parents in general, at that stage in the pregnancy, they're talking about singing to the unborn child because they can recognize your voice. And in my view is that if you're supposed to sing to the child because they can recognize your voice, if you provide anesthesia to the child to operate on that child to save their life because they can feel excruciating pain, legislative bodies like the Congress should have the power to protect that unborn child at that stage in the pregnancy. So that's the purpose of this hearing, and I look forward to the debate as we move forward. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Durbin. Dr. Malloy, is it generally accepted medical practice that if you're operating on a baby at 20 weeks or 22 weeks, whatever term you want to use here, that you provide anesthesia?
So definitely, if you're performing neonatal surgery, they would receive anesthesia. And even in fetal surgery, which is a fascinating, expanding field, they would receive anesthesia either through the placenta or given directly to the baby.
Because they can feel pain.
Because they can feel pain. And also the surgeons, because they feel pain, and you wouldn't want a baby wincing and moving around, a surgeon has to be able to operate on that child. So because they feel pain, they don't want that pain reaction of kicking and wincing and moving away. And in addition, the outcomes are worse if you don't use anesthesia. A long time ago, people did not treat neonates truly as patients that need anesthesia, and their outcomes were very poor because the cortisol levels were sky high, the adrenaline levels sky high. The biological response to instrumentation is not conducive to a successful surgery.
The best way to achieve a successful outcome is to provide anesthesia.
Yes.
Sorry about that. Apologize. All right. Sorry. Dr. Foster, apparently only 7 countries in the world allow, does anybody disagree with what Ms. Wynn said in terms of legal analysis?
I have studied what happens in countries that are in the other club, the ones with lower gestations than we have, and banning abortion doesn't make it go away. It makes it much more likely that women have an illegal abortion. So what happens in these other countries that are not on that list of 7 is that For example, a woman in South Africa, when denied a legal abortion, went and tried to find another clinic, and they told her it was a clinic, and no, when she got there, it was a trailer behind a cell phone shop where some man was going to put pills in her lady parts. So this is being part of this club where women can safely, legally access abortion, might be the right club.
Well, that's a matter of opinion, but the point I'm making is that you've studied the effect that abortion has on women.
Yes.
Have you seen in these other countries women who have abortion at 20 weeks and beyond? What's your results there? How does it affect? We got most of the world to look at here. And so are we seeing in these other countries that ban abortion at 20 weeks?
What happens when abortion is banned is that you get much higher maternal mortality from unsafe abortion.
Yeah,
It's the
that's not
seventh
my- that's-
leading cause of death.
That's not my question. My question is, you talked about the psychological impact of a woman having an abortion, and I appreciate your testimony. Seems that most countries ban elective abortions after 20 weeks. Is there a body of evidence to show that people in those countries, the women in those countries, experience what you're talking about?
There's no evidence internationally or domestically that women have psychological problems after abortion. Is that your question?
Well, just your testimony was that women are adversely affected.
By carrying unwanted pregnancies to term.
Right. So, but my point is that, well, I think you've answered the question. There's no evidence to suggest that women in these other countries are experiencing what you're talking about.
There is evidence that women who are denied abortions because their country's gestational limit is lower than ours go on to seek illegal abortions. So I told you about the woman in South Africa,
I got you.
but I could tell you women in Colombia, Bangladesh, Tunisia, South Africa. Okay, I told you South Africa. Anyway, 5 countries that I've studied where after being denied an abortion, what happens is that women consider illegal abortion.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Dr. McGee, do you believe that there should be any restrictions on abortion at any time?
Senator, just for the record, I'm not a doctor, so I just
sorry.
want, that's all right.
Sorry.
Could you repeat the question? I'm
Do
sorry.
you believe there should be any restrictions on abortion at any time?
Physicians for Reproductive Health believes that the safety and health of women is paramount. So if there are going to be restrictions on abortion, they should serve the needs of women.
Okay. Ms. Oden, did you ever reconcile with your grandmother?
Unfortunately, my grandmother is deceased, but I've been very blessed in my life to have contact with both my biological mother's family and my birth father's family. My birth mother and I have not met yet, but I am grateful to have her be a part of my life. And I know that what happened to me seems incredibly dramatic to many people. The fact that it was forced upon her is an incredible tragedy. But there was also an additional tragedy in her life. The secret that I survived was actually hidden from her for over 30 years. I'm an adoptee. And I'm not sure if we had a picture prepared for today. I apologize. Is it? I want to show you all a picture of me. I didn't have the opportunity to share it either, but it's a picture of me at actually 25 days old. I was transferred to the University of Iowa hospitals. And in this picture, I weigh 2 pounds, 10 ounces. You know, I had fought back after I was fighting for my life. That is little old me at 25 days old, 31 weeks gestation. And
Thank you.
I'm grateful for the opportunity to share that with you all today.
Senator, thank you. I don't see anyone else here. I'll just wrap it up. Thank you all for providing testimony to the committee on a, I think, very important topic. Number one, I'm not encouraging, I want to condemn any act of violence. I mean, you have to follow the law whether you like it or not. You can peacefully protest, but it doesn't give you a right to hurt anyone. So I'm trying to make a law. I'm trying to make a law that I think would be good for the country as a whole, would put us in good standing as a nation. And it's a simple concept. At 20 weeks, you can't have an abortion unless the mother's life is at risk or it's a result of a rape or incest. It puts us in the norm of where most of the nations are, and that's all I'm trying to do, because I do believe a baby can feel pain. I think there's a legitimate state interest to protect a child that cannot be operated on without anesthesia from an abortion. That's got to be a very painful procedure. And Just one last question. Dr. Malloy, when you perform life-saving procedures or medical procedures on a 20-week child, you provide anesthesia, is that correct?
Yes, we often provide anesthesia.
Okay. Are you reimbursed by insurance companies or the federal government on occasion?
I actually don't I don't know.
You don't know.
The doctors don't
line.
have to deal with the finances.
Yeah, okay. The bottom line is I would doubt if anybody is going to deny the anesthesia bill. So the point is that I think it's pretty well accepted medical practice that babies at this point in time are operated on with anesthesia to get the best result because they can feel pain. Thank you all very much for the hearing, and the hearing stands adjourned. The record will be open for 1 week. Thank you.